Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar for tonight. First things first, just to introduce myself, I am National Director Levice Giles, and I just want to take a moment to welcome you all to the Diamond Network New Partner Launch Webinar. I want to welcome you to the webinar and just to welcome you to our 5 Links family as a whole. So welcome, guys. We're going to go ahead and dive right into our webinar. Just to cover a real quick housekeeping item, we'll just ask that any questions or comments be held until the end of the webinar. We'll make sure that we have ample time at the end to address any questions or comments. You'll be able to type your questions in the chat box. So we'll go ahead and get started, guys. This is the Diamond Network New Partner Launch Webinar. Again, to do some brief introductions, again, I am National Director Levice Giles. Our upline Senior Vice Presidents in 5 Links are SVPs Kim and Mark Beeman. We have a host of other upline National Directors, which many of you on the call will fall under. National Director Daphne Wilson, National Director Judy Gilmore, National Director Mina Jackson, National Director Patrick Smith, and National Director Ed Jenkins. Now, although we all fall under the leadership of Senior Vice Presidents Kim and Mark Beeman, the Diamond Network as a whole, guys, is headed up by Platinum Senior Vice Presidents Steve and Pasha Carter. So I know many of you on the webinar for the first time and new to 5 Links are just saying, okay, I know I signed up for 5 Links. What is the Diamond Network? Well, the Diamond Network, guys, is simply the downline organization of Platinum Senior Vice President Steve and Pasha Carter. We have a host of Platinum Senior Vice Presidents, and they tend to have names for their actual organizations. Since they are so large, they generally just have names to distinguish their organizations from others. But we are all part of the 5 Links family. One of the other things that are a benefit to being a part of the Diamond Network is this business plan that we will walk through tonight. And the purpose of this business plan is just to deliver a clear and concise message to our new partners as to what should be done your first 30 to 60 days in the business. You know, how should you be recruiting? How do you access your virtual office to take a look at important information? How do you access your page when you want to send customers there for services, or you want to send a new prospect there to sign up for services? So this business plan really just outlines a lot of those key features so that any new partners that are just coming on board, you know, really at a high level has an understanding of what they should be doing in their first 30 and 60 days in the business, and how they actually should be accessing important information. So with that said, we'll go ahead and dive right into it. This is, again, the Diamond Network business plan. With this, guys, you'll understand that you have a clear and concise message anywhere that you see a Diamond Network presentation. So if you go to another state, another country, and you're affiliated with a Diamond Network partner, you'll see the exact same information. So there's some comfort knowing that you know exactly what will be presented to any of your guests. Even if you aren't in the room and you have to send a guest to an event in another state, you can rest assured that you know exactly what will be presented to that guest. And so we owe all of that to the leadership with their development of the Diamond Network business plan. So first things, we've gotten the congratulations out of the way. Just want you guys to get familiar with some of the information that's pertinent to you successfully running your business. One other thing is, if you guys haven't done so, you should print this document out within your first 24 to 48 hours and really begin filling in the blanks. If you do have some paper to jot down notes today, you can just jot down the information on your notepad and transpose them over once you print the document out. But it's very helpful to print the document out and fill it in completely. But towards the bottom of the page, a few blanks. The first thing is your start date. You want to make sure that you are familiar with what your start date is in the business, as all promotions and bonuses are centered around your start date. More specifically, your first 30 to 60 days in the business. You need to know what your start date is, and then also, folks, what your end date is. I know end date is not listed, but it's helpful to write down what your 30th day in the business is and what your 60th day in the business is. So key information, make sure you write down your start date, your 30th day, and your 60th day, so that you know how you're tracking towards special promotions and quick start bonuses. The next thing you want to just become familiar with is your representative ID number, or more commonly called your RIN number or L number. This is the number that you were given when you first enrolled in the business. It's a 6-digit numeric number preceded by an L. So you want to make sure that you get familiar with that number right away. This is like your social security number within 5 links. Anytime you call in to Rep Services or any of the other service providers, they will ask you for your representative ID number. So you'll need to make sure you get to a point of memorizing that. The next important piece of information is, where do you send folks once they want to become a new partner on your team, or they want to become a customer for some of your services? Well, you send them to www.5links.net/your L number. Okay, that's www.5links.net/your L number, complete with the letter L. Next thing is just getting on Steve Carter's email list. The important thing about this, guys, is Steve does a host of trainings, special events, and just really sends out important information to the organization. And so when you add your name to this email list, you'll automatically get updates on that information. So he does live webinars every week. He's all over the United States doing trainings and presentations. And so you'll just have access to that information if you add yourself to his email list. So just make sure you take time out and go on that stevecarteremaillist.com to get yourself signed up. So table of contents, I'll just shoot through really fast. We'll cover your virtual office, getting yourself familiar with it. What are your first goals, the first 2 weeks and your first 30 days in the business? How you acquire customers. How you begin making your prospect list. And then using that prospect list to begin building your team. How to properly conduct business opportunity meetings and trainings. Then, folks, we'll finish up with just some important numbers, emails, and websites, and cover a nice tool that's been added in as a benefit to help you track your organization, the Diamond Network Launch Sheet. Okay, and just remember, this is for new partners. The key is duplication. Once you become familiar with the information we're covering tonight, anytime that you bring a new member on your team, you should be getting them on this same call so that they become familiar with what's necessary in your first 30 to 60 days in the business. So first things first, guys, is becoming familiar with your virtual office. I'll just talk about the virtual office really fast, guys. This is the place that's the heartbeat of your business. This is where you have all of your important business reports. So how many customers do you have? What's your status of each customer? How many points do you have allotted for each customer? What bonuses have you hit? How much are you getting paid for that bonus? When are you getting paid? As you start building your organization, who's on my team? What customers do they have? And how are they progressing? So all of these things are important pieces of information that lie in your virtual office. And your reports are just one piece of it. There's a host of other information, and I'll kind of give just a brief walkthrough shortly. But to access your virtual office, you go to 5links.com. That's www.5links.com. You click on the login button, which is on the top right corner of the screen. You'll be asked to enter your RIN number. You just make sure you enter your RIN number complete with the L, and then your password, which is the 4-digit password that you were assigned when you enrolled. Step 3 is really about checking your profile, which is very important because all of the communication that 5LINX does with its reps are through email. So you want to make sure you check your profile to ensure that your email address is correct. The next thing is 5LINX University. To hit any position in 5LINX, you'll have to complete the training module for that position. So it's very important that you get started right away with the executive trainer training module in 5LINX University, which happens to be the first position that you'll be shooting for. And then really just become familiar with all the other areas in your back office or virtual office. So with that said, folks, I will just shoot over to the website really fast, give you an idea of how you log into your virtual office, and just mention some of the key areas that you should be taking a look at. So again, to get to your virtual office, you go to www.5linx.com. Now, once your virtual office loads up, you will be brought to your virtual office dashboard, which is the screen that you're seeing right now. Now, just to touch on some of the important areas, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of information in your dashboard. I won't touch on all of it, but I do advise you to really just click through everything so that you become familiar with it. So as I mentioned first, guys, you want to just make sure that you go to your profile page. First things first, verify that all of your profile information is correct. Okay. Another important area is your reports page. And I won't go into detail on all of these pages, but I just want to highlight the areas that you should really be checking on. You want to next check on your reports page. There are a host of reports that are key towards running your business. Your personal customer report, your running account balance report, which really shows what money you're getting paid and what money you're paying out. And then your genealogy report just really gives you a view into your whole organization. How many partners do you have? What position are they at? What customers do they have? So a very good report that you should really get used to looking at on a daily basis. In fact, all 3 of the reports I just mentioned, you should at least be looking at once a day. Okay. The other area that you want to take a look at is the documents section. The documents section, guys, is very important because what it does is it just gives you access to a ton of information. So if you need information about a particular service, just go and click on the document for that service. You'll get all of the information you need. You need information on the compensation plan. Folks, it's out there. Take a look at the category, click on compensation plan. I'll advise everyone to go out and take a look at the detailed compensation plan. It's about 20 pages long, but it highlights all of the ways we get paid with this opportunity. Okay? The next thing is 5LINX University, and you'll see over here on the left side, you'll want to go into 5LINX University and begin your training with the executive training module. Okay, you want to get that out of the way. One other area that I'll focus on is the events tab. You can use the events tab to find out information about events all over the United States. So if you have a guest in another state, you can use the events tab to search for events. in a particular state so that you can send that person to an event. So very important piece of information that you get familiar with. So folks, there's a ton of other information on your virtual office. I just wanted to really show you how you get into your virtual office and some of the key areas that you want to focus on in your virtual office. Okay? Now, with that said, one other website I want to give you guys a snapshot into accessing is your personal website, where you will send guests that may want to be a partner of yours or guests that want to be a customer of yours. Now, in order to do that, we mentioned this at the beginning of the presentation. You do www.5links.net forward page. Edit the look of this page, but the main menu is the same. Once you go products, if they are going to take a look at your services, and you'll see they now have access to all of the services that you offer. If they are someone that's looking at the opportunity, you'll simply have them click on the opportunity tab. And you can see that 5links has a host of videos that they can actually take a look at right on your home page. But if they're ready to sign up, simply click on the orange Sign Up Now link at the top of your page. Okay, that was really simple, folks. It's www.5links.net/ your L number. Two key links. Number one is your products page for services, or the opportunity page to sign up for the opportunity. All right, so we'll go ahead and get back into the slideshow. And we've taken a good look at virtual office, so we'll business. So weeks hit the first position of executive trainer. Now, what does it mean for you to hit executive trainer? From a hierarchy standpoint, what that means is that you've gone out and you've first acquired 10 customer points yourself, and then you've acquired 2 new partners to join your organization and help them acquire 4 customer points, with at least one of those points being on a global link service. The other requirement is that you have completed the executive trainer training module in 5links University. So again, to hit executive trainer, you will have had to go out and get 10 personal customer points, one of those points being on a global link service, or those 10 points being on all other services, and then acquiring 2 other partners with at least 4 customer points. With the 4 customer points, one of those services has to be a global link service. And folks, it really just speaks to using services that you are actively marketing on a daily basis. But once you do this in your first 2 weeks in the business, you've now earned the first quick start bonus. Okay? So you want to make sure you shoot towards becoming executive trainer as fast as you can. Repeat it one more time. You have gotten 10 customer points. You've gotten 2 partners, and you've shown them how to get 4 customer points, with one of those points being on a global link service. Now, the customer points list to the right just kind of gives you an example of the point value for each of the services. So you can strategically plan out how you go about getting your 10 points. So what's next? What is your second goal? Your second goal, and this is within the following 2 weeks, so within your first 30 days in the business, is to now hit the second position of executive director. So in order to hit executive director, you'll see that the hierarchy changes a little bit. Starting with you, it says you need 20 customer points, but you only need 15 customer points to become executive director. So that 20 should only be 15 customer points. Now we'll talk about frontline representatives. In this particular diagram, you would have 3 frontline representatives. That means that there are 3 people that were directly sponsored in the business by you. Now, to become an executive director, you will have added 1 more partner to the 2 that you added to become an executive trainer. And then of those 3 partners, you show 2 of those partners how to do the same thing you did in your first 2 weeks in the business, and that is show them how to become executive trainer. So now to become executive director, you'll have to get 5 additional points from the 10 you got as executive trainer. You'll have to add 1 additional frontline partner. And then of those 3 frontline partners, you'll have to show at least 2 of them how to hit the position of executive trainer. Folks, you do this within your first 30 days in the business and you've maxed out the Quick Start bonus plan. Okay? So this is what your goals are within your first 30 days in the business. Hit executive trainer and then hit executive director. So how do we acquire these points that we talked about when becoming executive trainer and executive director? Well, first things first is just becoming familiar with your distributor website. And I just gave you a walkthrough of how you access that website by going to 5links.net/your RIN number and then clicking on your products page. But the first thing you want to do as a new partner is to sit down with all of your bills and then go to your products page and say, hey, what services do 5 Links offer that I'm using already that I can now start getting a commission on for bills that I'm paying every month already anyway. Folks, I'll tell you, when I first started this opportunity, I did that exact thing, and I had 14 customer points in my own home before I ever went out to talk to anyone about this opportunity. So I'll just say, make sure that you sit down and go through all of the services that we offer, become familiar with them, and then sign yourself up for as many of those services as you can. In just about every case, I was able to use the same provider that I was already using, but I was able to go through my 5 Links portal to sign up for my own service. So now I don't have any service in my home except for water that I don't get paid a commission on every month. So this is huge. So once you become your own first customer, you want to then just reach out to your friends, your family, mom, dad, sister, brother, co-workers, they should be, the next group of prospects you go to become customers. And so you go through that group to try to quickly get to 25 customer points. Okay, so there's a sample script at the bottom of the page that you guys can read through. Just helps with breaking the ice as you're talking to someone about becoming a customer in the business. Keep in mind too, we'll always say if a person is not interested in becoming a partner in the business, they should be interested in becoming a customer. So keep that in mind as you're talking to prospects about becoming a partner. If they decide that they don't want to become a partner, ask them to just try out your services then. How to create residual income. So residual income, folks, to me and to just about everyone in the opportunity is the reason for being in the opportunity. Although we make good money with bonuses and things of that nature right now, the key is in 3 to 5 years to have a substantial residual income. And the way we get to high residual income is by starting out ourselves with at least getting to 25 customer points. And really, that it's important for a couple of reasons. First thing is, once you hit 25 customer points, you've now satisfied the requirement to hit any position in the company. Second thing is, when you hit 25 customer points, your team members and your partners will now strive to do the same thing. So you want to just lead by example. Don't stop at 25, but shoot for 25 customer points. Okay, once you have acquired customers, once they've said yes and they've signed up, you want to make it a habit of going out on a daily basis and checking your personal customer report. Make sure that that customer shows up. Make sure that customer is showing active, as residual payments will only start to be paid out once a customer is in the active state. Also, bonuses that are based on a certain customer count are also paid out when a customer goes into an active state. So if you have customers in the pending state or suspended state, you want to make sure you follow up and just see what the holdup is. But you want to make sure that you check your personal customer report on a daily basis. So how to begin making your initial prospect list. So we've put this list of questions together just as a warm market memory jogger. And we say that you should be able to come up with a strong list of 50 or more prospects. But folks, I'll tell you, when I did this exercise, I reached 100 pretty easy. So although this says, develop a list of 50 prospects, shoot for 100. The next page is just a tool giving you to write down your prospect list, so you have a place to track the names that you're coming up with as you're asking yourself the memory jogger questions. So our recruiting process. So folks, this recruiting process is the bloodline of success in this particular business. So I'll walk through this process, and the key here is just sending as many prospects as possible through this baseball diamond exercise. Now, as partners, we all start at home plate where it says start here. And we begin by piquing the interest of a potential prospect. So how do we pique interest? We use what we call piquing tools. One of the piquing tools that's mentioned here are pre-recorded voice calls. So generally they're about 2 minutes in length. And you can see in the document we have a host of pique calls. But they're about 2 minutes in length, and they just provide, high-level detail about what this opportunity is. We have other piquing tools, such as our Success at Home magazine, which is a magazine that talks about home-based businesses. But in this particular magazine, they dedicated the entire magazine to 5 links. So you may drop that off to someone and just say, hey, take a look at this tonight and let's talk about it tomorrow. That's a great piquing tool. So once you've used some form of piquing tool and you've got that person's interest, you want to move them into action. What that means, folks, is getting them in front of the actual overview presentation. Now, you can see at the bulleted list that we have a ton of ways of getting someone in front of the overview presentation. Number one is the website, where we have the pre-recorded overview presentations, www.stevecarteronline.com or www.123setsyoufree.com. Recorded webinars where you can send someone to 24 hours a day to take a look at the opportunity. You may have the presentation on DVD. Hey, drop it off. Let them take a look at it for a night or two and then go back and pick it up and find out what they liked about it. Get them on one of the weekly live webinars. Steve Carter does a live webinar every Monday night, so you want to make sure you steer them to that. How about a home-based meeting or private business reception? Or any of the local weekly meetings that are held in your local area? Folks, the point is moving them to a point where they see the actual overview presentation in detail. Now, once they see that and they're still displaying interest, you want to now move them to a point where you're putting them in contact with the leader. But before you put them in touch with the leader, you want to make sure you edify that leader. Make sure you let your prospect know that the leader is documented in the business, that the leader knows 100% of information about 5 links, knows how to make money. Let them know that they love to have fun with this opportunity and that they're totally committed to helping others achieve success in 5 links. So you want to make sure you get that information out and on the table before you put them in contact with your upline leader. When you move to third base and get them on with your third line leader, their job is simply to close that potential prospect. And once they do their job, you now enroll that prospect in the business, get them on this new webinar, and then move forward with your next prospect through the baseball diamond. So folks, I'll say this: the more prospects you run through this particular process, the more successful you'll be in this business. How to build a huge team? When you're developing that list of prospects, you want to really jot down the top 5 people that you'll see as key towards building your organization. Next thing is, within your first 7 to 10 days in the business, you should be scheduling your first home meeting or your private business reception. So I ask everyone as they're listening to this webinar is to write down 2 dates: the meeting day, the meeting date, and the meeting time, and then get back with the person that sponsored you in the business so that they can help you make sure leadership is available to come out and do the presentation for you. I can't stress how important it is to get this on the calendar, but you want to go ahead and write that down now, and then after the webinar, reach out to your upline sponsorship and get it scheduled so that they can make sure you have the right leadership in place to present for you. So peaking. So folks, generally there are 3 types of people you'll run into as you're out here peaking this opportunity. First is red apples. They're generally open, really interested in what you're saying, and generally open to a new opportunity. Green apples are somewhat open, but they tend to have questions. And then you run into rotten apples. Rotten apples are folks that are generally negative. They don't really want to hear what you're talking about, and they're generally going to speak bad about it to anyone else. So I'll tell you about this. In this opportunity, you want to spend 80% of your time with red apples and 20% of your time with green apples. You want to spend 0% of your time with rotten apples. You stay away from them. And then use just the sample peak script above. You can read that. I just found a way for us to make some pretty serious money, and I'd like to get you some information ASAP. Or another one is, hey, I just got involved with a new opportunity. I'd like you to take a look at it just to get your thoughts, to get your advice on it. Now, some sample language after the overview for interested parties. I knew you would like what you heard. You know, how soon can you get in front of your computer for 30 minutes? You know, or the other ones below it. Here's a DVD I would like for you to take a look at. I need it back by tomorrow. There's a live webinar tonight. Think you have 30 minutes to jump on and hear about it? Guys, use these languages or these sample scripts to help you when you're breaking the ice and you're speaking out and trying to pique others about this opportunity. So I mentioned before the importance of setting up your home meeting or your private business reception, and I won't read through every item detail, but make sure you focus on step 1, step 2, and step 3. What things to do before having your home meeting, what things to do during your home meeting, and then what actions you should perform after your home meeting. Okay? It's very, very important to follow these steps to make sure that your meeting is both effective and successful. Now, I mentioned the launch sheet. Guys, the launch sheet is really just a one-pager to give you a snapshot as to how you are performing with your business in the first 30 to 60 days. We talked about hitting executive trainer. We talked about hitting executive director. Well, you can track that at the top in the hierarchy. As you begin filling in new partners, you can complete it right there. You know, how are you going in terms of gathering your 25 customer points? You can chart that down here as well. Exposing 30 people to the business, you can track your exposures. And then what trainings have you committed or completed? You can track those as well. So just a one-page document to give you a snapshot as to how you are doing towards meeting your 30 and 60-day goals in the business. A great tool is your exposure tracker document. As you begin going out and peaking prospects, you can capture that information here. You know, how many times have they been exposed to this opportunity? By what method? You know, did they use the pre-recorded call? Did they use the Success from Home magazine? And what are the results? Well, you can use this document to track that, and you can print out as many as you need. And lastly, folks, just important information. If you have weekly team calls, and now many of you will, you can jot that information here so that you have it readily available. Our team website, diamondnetworkonline.com. And then just some key 5LINX phone numbers. If you ever have questions about your account, any customer orders, promotions, things of that nature, you can call out to Rep Services. Keep in mind you will need your representative ID number when you call in. If you have any questions about GlobalLinks, which is our voice over IP product, you want to make sure you give GlobalLinks a call, provide your phone number and representative ID number, and they'll be able to help you out. Last things last, important events. So just key events that you should always plan on attending are international conventions. So they're held several times a year all across the United States, in locations all across the United States. And folks, it's really just a time where the whole company comes together and they put on a huge convention where they just provide, tons and tons of training. They do great promotions, and really it's just a time for you to have some fellowship, meet team members that you may have never met face to face before, and just rub shoulders with leadership. And the very cool thing about it, guys, is leadership, they're so willing to help you succeed in this business. And so you're at a position where you can, sit and talk to these guys in a one-on-one format and really just get their nuggets of information to what's needed to be successful in the 5LINX opportunity. So I just can't stress the importance of attending international conventions. Regional events are held every few months in different regions of the United States. You want to make sure you use those events to build your business. Get as many guests out to those events and let the leaders in the organization present the opportunity to them. And then use local events. Generally they're weekly events held in your local area to help you build your opportunity. You can always send guests out to local weekly events to see the opportunity. So guys, really just make it a habit, number one, of getting involved with the international convention. I stress to everyone, find out the date and location of the next convention. Get yourself registered for it. Same thing with regionals. Just find out when the next one is in your area so that you're prepared for it. And then know what your local weekly events are so that you can use those on a day-to-day basis. So folks, with that said, we have reached the end of our presentation. I will now open the floor up for questions or comments. Feel free to use the chat box to send over your questions or comments, and I will respond accordingly. Thank you all very much.